Hello everybody, welcome to Cars at 100, and on today's video let's talk about everything automotive. So let's talk about the active performance by Ferrari. So Ferrari finally has released their flagship hypercar, which is called Sf90 Stradale, which is a pretty cool car. As you can see, it is something that is incredibly technical, and at the same time it is something new for Ferrari because they are doing their hypercar with a four-wheel drive system. So that four-wheel drive system that they are including in this brand new car is going to be something that will define the brand in years ahead, because their most powerful and the fastest car right now is the four-wheel drive car. So that tells you a lot about Ferrari and where they are heading into, and it tells me that future is very interesting because first of all, the biggest take I wanted to take from this video is Ferrari are actually doing mainstream cars. They're not just doing the the big numbers in terms of the performance, and they are limiting their cars to somewhat small amount of units. They are doing these cars very nicely in terms of the performance and technical aspects of it, but at the same time they're also doing something that will benefit a lot of people. So these cars are not gonna be something that Ferrari has done in the past, that they're limiting too much of these cars, and I think it has to be a production car. And if they're gonna go with this production car for this Sf90 Stradale, it's gonna be a very big improvement for Ferrari as a brand, and I think that kind of paves way for the SUV car that Ferrari can make as well. And I hope they're gonna do a better job than Lamborghini with the Audi underpinnings. Instead, maybe Ferrari will do a better job of making the car from ground up and really showing their performance in the SUV aspect of things. So let's talk about the performance. So 980 plus horsepower for this Challenge Stradale. I'm sorry, Sf90 Stradale. You see, I confused it with the previous Ferrari 360 Challenge Stradale that was a predecessor to 488 Pista. That is the outgoing version of that car right now that Ferrari produces. So 980 plus horsepower, and it's gonna have a very serious performance because it's gonna weigh only 3,461 pounds. So that's lighter than the LaFerrari, because LaFerrari weighed 3,495 pounds, and that was something that incredible in terms of the performance. But right now this SF Stradale is gonna be a really interesting kind of entrance into that territory of hypercar. Also, it is not the only hypercar with all-wheel drive. I have a feeling lots of other cars will come out with all-wheel drive, but that gives this particular Sf90 Stradale 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds, something that Porsche 918 has kind of close to achieving with 2.7 seconds, but that was incredible back in the day. So I think the cars are going to be less and less in terms of the seconds to 60 as being hypercars, of course. But overall, it is also not just fast in terms of the performance, but the transmission in that car is 200 milliseconds faster than outgoing Ferrari. So the outgoing most fastest transmission that is available by Ferrari. So that's 200 milliseconds faster than what already Ferrari produces as being a fast transmission. So that's incredible as well. Also, in terms of the performance and how it looks, aesthetics, so Ferrari has been able to combine aesthetics with the design, and in terms of the sleek feel, the car just looks more modern, but at the same time it looks very, very technical and very useful in terms of the aerodynamics as well. So the car is going to be very aerodynamical, as you can expect it to be, and also the car is going to have lots of moving body parts, I think, in terms of the suspension, in terms of the panels, and how the air will be directed, and how much you know, performance can be extracted from just wind when it's going to be traveling really quick. Overall, the car is gonna be very light, and if you get the package that comes with the car, which is a set of Fiorano package, it's gonna make the 66 pounds disappear from the regular version of the Sf90 Stradale. So that's something that real hardcore I guess drivers, or the ones who would take this car to the track, will get the true feeling of having a very light car, including with this performance. That performance comes, that lightweightness comes courtesy of carbon fiber wheels and titanium shocks. So that's something that is already incredibly high performance, incredibly high technologically, but at the same time it is also very, very light with all the aspects in the car. So that will improve, I guess, the Sf90 Stradale on the track. But it's a full second faster already than the outgoing hypercar that Ferrari no longer produces. The production has stopped. LaFerrari is no longer produced. They are just available, and it is a full 1 second faster than that car. So that's incredible in my opinion, and I think something in terms of the all-wheel drive system gives this car a little bit more edgy feel and performance on the track to extract all that power from this, and it's gonna be a hybrid. So the biggest aspect of this car, which is kind of a big deal as well, it still retains this hybrid layout that LaFerrari is famous for, but it keeps improving on that and makes it even more technological and more usable in terms of the performance as well. So it's gonna have 3 motors, just like some car that we already know, the Acura NSX, which is a hybrid vehicle as well. But this this Sf90 Stradale is gonna have a hybrid with a V8 engine, courtesy of 488 GTB, but it's gonna have a more, in terms of the performance extracted from that engine, it's gonna have more powerful engine. It's gonna have 700 almost 800 horsepower engine, and it's gonna have electric motors that gonna combine together to give this car 980 plus horsepower. The car is gonna be incredible, and I hope it's gonna be something that other competition will catch up to Ferrari, because I think the Ferrari is really defining the genre of hypercar, and it keeps doing it every time it releases the car. There is a reason why Ferrari is the upper echelon of all the brands, I think, but McLaren is the car that I really expect to really face Ferrari's Sf90 Stradale, because McLaren is doing incredible things, and I think McLaren has a lot under its sleeve, including Porsche as well. So Porsche, knowing that Porsche already produced 918 Spider, we can expect some cool hypercar that will replace 918 Spider, which was incredible with its bicycle package that gave it more lightness. But this car that is going to be produced in the future, I think is going to be a very good competition for the Sf90 Stradale. And McLaren, like I said, if they say that they are really on the path of showing us a huge you know, performance, I hope they will deliver, and I I don't doubt them a bit, because McLaren has been doing very serious cars lately. So let me know what you think about this SF90 Stradale by Ferrari. If you have any questions, or you would like to leave a comment about this car, please leave a comment below, and I'll see you next time. Stay loving cars.